What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to yet another episode of The Drop. And today we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as our headliner because it is pretty much the most significant game that's come out on the Nintendo Switch aside from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And on top of that, a couple of other games that are definitely worth mentioning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we'll go ahead and kick things off with our headliner Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is coming to the Nintendo Switch exclusively. Hit the road with the definitive version of Mario Kart 8 and play anytime, anywhere. Race your friends or battle them in a revised battle mode on new and returning battle courses. Play locally in up to 4-player multiplayer in 1080p while playing in TV mode. Not sure why it's 2017 and we're really talking about 1080p, but every track from the Wii U version, including the DLC, makes a glorious return, plus the Inklings appear as all new guest characters, which are the two people from Splatoon, things from Splatoon 2, along with the returning favorites such as King Boo, Dry Bones, and Bowser Jr. So this ultimately is just a better version of the Mario Kart that came out on the Wii U a couple of years back, which is by the same title, Mario Kart 8, but this one is pretty much like it says. The definitive edition has all the DLC, a couple of new bells and whistles, you have Link, you have the Splatoon people. It's just a better version of what was on the Wii U, and pretty much, let's be honest here, anything that was on the Wii U is going to be better on the Nintendo Switch because that little console is just fantastic. I mean, look at it. The thing's just good. So is it worth getting right at launch? I mean, if you are a big fan of Mario Kart, it's just going to be more of the same, but also it's just going to be more of the same, so if you aren't a huge fan of Mario Kart, you already know what to expect, but it's pretty much up to you. It's probably going to be a fantastic game either way. Next up, we've got What Remains of Edith Finch coming to the PlayStation 4 and the PC. What Remains of Edith Finch is a collection of short stories about a cursed family in Washington State. Each story offers a chance to experience the life of a different family member, with stories ranging from the early 1900s to present day. The gameplay and tone of the stories are as varied as the family members themselves. The only constants are that each is played from a first-person perspective and that each story ends with that family member's death. It's a game about what it feels like to be humbled and astonished by the vast and unknowable world to us. You'll follow Edith Finch as she explores the history of her family and tries to figure out why she's the last one in her family left alive. Like I mentioned, this is coming from the creators of The Unfinished Swan, which was a pretty good game that came out a couple of years back, and it's cool to see the studio continuing to work on new projects. But as for this game itself, from a first-person storytelling perspective, it sounds like a pretty good idea, and it might be worth checking out this week whenever it comes out on the PlayStation 4 or the PC. Next up, we've got Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Go behind enemy lines with the ultimate modern military shooter. Choose your missions across an unforgiving open world. Explore large open maps with dynamic weather and day-night cycle that actually impacts your play and decisions. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 is the story of brotherhood, faith, and betrayal in a land soaked in the blood of civil war. This is a game that we talked about a couple of weeks back whenever Sniper Elite 4 was coming out, because I do believe that these games are in direct competition with one another because they have the same kind of sniping mechanics going on. Now, it is worth noting that both of these games do have different settings, so they are catering to different audiences, and also someone that wants to play both of these games is going to get a different experience because of the different setting and the different stories, so they're both worth playing. However, I do think that competition is very, very strong. On top of that, I do want to mention the giant leap in quality between Sniper Ghost Warrior 1 and 2, and why I think we can see that between 2 and 3, although not as big. Now, if you go back and you play Sniper Ghost Warrior 1, it does have some age on it, so, you know, take that into consideration, but the leap in quality of storytelling, of graphics, of every single aspect of the game between 1 and 2 was mind-blowing, because they're basically different games, and you really wouldn't be able to tell that they were related in any way, shape, or form if you didn't know beforehand. So will we see the same kind of leap between Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 and 3? That is still left to be said, but I suppose we'll see whenever the game comes out on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC this week. Moving right along, we have Outlast 2 coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. You are Blake Langerman, a cameraman working with your wife Lynn. The two of you are investigative journalists willing to take risk and dig deeper to uncover the stories no one else will dare touch. You're following a trail of clues that started with the seemingly impossible murder of a pregnant woman known only as Jane Doe. The investigation has led you miles into the Arizona desert to a darkness so deep that no one could shed light upon it, and a corruption so profound that going mad may be the only only sane thing to do. So I played the demo of this one back whenever it came out right around Halloween thereabouts, I believe, and it is absolutely fantastic. I played the original Outlast, I streamed it. I did not play the Whistleblower DLC, which I will probably get around to at some point, but the original Outlast really does capture a feeling almost of paranormal activity, but on top of that, wandering through and running into some AI. Now, I do want to note that those artificial intelligence, little glitches and things that made it feel less realistic whenever you were going up against one of the bosses in Outlast 1, if you did play that, where it just felt very mechanical and robotic, those have been almost completely fixed, and Outlast 2 is utterly horrifying in that respect. I'm sure that as the studio continues to grow, the movements of the characters are going to become more fluid and more realistic and more terrifying in and of themselves, but the improvements are quite evident in Outlast 2, and I'm excited to give it a go whenever it does come out. Now, am I going to play it this week? Probably not, because I don't really want to play a horror game in the middle of April. It just doesn't really fit, so I'll probably, like a lot of other people, wait until Halloween to play this one, because it just seems to fit that kind of year better than the middle of springtime when everything is beautiful and sunshiny and happy and blossoming. It just doesn't fit with the season. Not really sure why you didn't put it off, but hey, with Friday the 13th coming out next week, why not? Let's just have Halloween in April. It's also worth telling you guys that the Outlast Trinity is coming out next week, and it is going to be a fantastic value because it does include the original game, the Whistleblower DLC for the original game, as well as Outlast 2, all together for $40. That is just $39.99. That is over 20 hours of content according to the developers, but of course you can do speed runs, you can do different kinds of playthroughs. Pretty much you can play however you want, so that is a lot of bang for your buck, and I would definitely recommend checking these out if you have not had the chance to do so and you are into this kind of game. Last but not least, we have Little Nightmares coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and to the PC, another creepy game. Immerse yourself in Little Nightmares, a dark, whimsical tale that will confront you with your childhood fears. Help 6 escape the Maw, a vast, mysterious vessel inhabited by corrupted souls looking for their next meal. As you progress on your journey, explore the most disturbing dollhouse, offering a prison to escape from and a playground full of secrets to discover. Reconnect with your inner child to unleash your imagination and find the way out. There is no getting around it. This one looks incredibly creepy. That's pretty much all I can say. Of what I hear, it's pretty much like if Tim Burton directed Limbo, it's got that kind of thing, or if Tim Burton directed Inside, if you want to reference that game that came out last year. But either way, sounds very interesting, looks incredibly creepy, but I love the art and the design of it, so if it sounds like your kind of thing, I would check out some gameplay, but you might want to consider looking into this one. And to wrap things up, a couple of honorable mentions. Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3 is coming to the PC. I played the beta of that one over the weekend. Very, very dense, very long game, so pack your patience with that one, but of course, if you are into that kind of game, you're gonna love it. Really fun. Earthfall is pretty much like if you had Left 4 Dead with aliens, and that is coming out on the PC with Steam Early Access, I believe. Batman Arkham VR is coming to the PC from the PlayStation VR. Dragon Quest Heroes 2 is coming to the PlayStation 4 and to the PC. Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment, I feel like I've talked about that game at least 6 times, is coming to the 3DS. And Siberia 3, apparently a cult classic of some kind, is coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and to the PC. I apologize if I offended any fans of Siberia. I've just never heard of it, but it seemed like it had enough of a following that it was worth mentioning here. So there you guys have it. I hope you have enjoyed this edition of The Drop. If you did, drop me a like down below and let me know what new games that are coming out this week that you are looking forward to. Personally, I cannot wait to get my hands on Little Nightmares at some point down the line, but of course Mario Kart 8 is always going to be a good time, especially with friends and online tournaments and things like that. But of course, if you are new to the channel, please check out some of my other content, but as for right now, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.